Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good? Your boy Savage, man. It's cold out here. So, yesterday when I was in the gym, basically somebody came up to me that recognized me from YouTube. And this has been a crazy situation because it's happened to me multiple times in the last month, and they were basically was like, bro, we definitely want to get your channel up and running again. So I had an idea, man, and this is why I put that video out yesterday. I put a memo out to that other channel, to people that's asked to request videos, and I'm gonna do it, on this channel, so I could get that channel up and running. So in the meantime, till that channel's up and running, I'm gonna answer request the videos, and that's what it is, man. Thank you for everybody that showed that channel love and support that was over there. We gonna get that channel back up and running. And another thing I want to say too is, by no means am I promoting gangbanging to youngsters or nobody, bro. I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to show a testimony of why you don't, choose that life. And hopefully through my experiences, I could give some insight to some youngsters that may come across the video, and open their eyes to why you shouldn't go down the road that I went down. You know what I'm saying? So this video was requested in that other comment section by the homie Let's Go. What up, bro? Mile high salute to you. I'm sorry that I had to do the video on this channel, but you asked, where did it all start for you? You know what I'm saying? And I've answered this question before, but I'm gonna do a small summary because you asked. You know what I'm saying? So let's start from when I was a youngster, man. When I was a youngster, mom's basically, she was a single mom, bro. My pops basically wasn't, he wasn't in my life. He was in and out of the penitentiary. And on top of that, he was addicted to the streets. That fool was an addict. You know what I'm saying? So by the time I hit 9-10 years old, I honestly was wondering why pops didn't want to be a part of my life. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of started getting angry at life, and angry at situations in my life. You know what I'm saying? Being that age, you really don't understand things, bro. And to have, your pops not in your life, teaching you work ethic, teaching you this and that, an individual, youngster, a male, especially because you need your father, starts feeling some type of way. At that time too, mom's actually was going from house to house. She got in this program, Warren Village. And Warren Village was for single moms, and they help single moms build to become something for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And she used to, go through these programs, and she got Section 8. Well, where we're originally from, we're from East Denver. You know what I'm saying? And I'll go into that later on this channel, because there was a couple people that asked about that too. Where we're from is East Denver, and in East Denver, we have our, our own ways. We have our own styles, our own, swags and different things. And we talk a certain way. And to be honest, East Denver is predominantly, when it comes to the gang politics, there's mostly Crips over there. There's mostly Odies. But where I'm from a project housing called Rappel Courts that was tore down later down the road. And, all of our schools infested with gang banging, from older brothers, even the people that was at this time I'm young. I'm going to Wyman Elementary, and at this time all the young kids, all their older brothers, were invested in gang banging. So the whole school is influenced by the revolution, the Crip community revolution in progress, Crippin', and it was crazy, bro, because the simple fact is my relatives also that were in front of me, before me, my cousins, fools I looked up to, they were already, intertwining with gang politics. So from an early age, I already had seen that. Well, mom gets some Section 8 over in the West Side, and see, West Side Denver, they got their own rules and regulations when it comes to gangbanging too. So we moved to the West Side, and automatically when we moved to the West Side, fools automatically could tell I'm not from over there. And, you know, they wasn't feeling the situation with a little East Side baby. So automatically from early ages of going over there, I already, you know what I'm saying, knew there was static with youngsters from over there. So the hatred was built for a lot of the West Side because, you know what I'm saying, like I go over there, fool, and fools is trying to, you know what I'm saying, act real tough. And everybody that I just came from was all cripping, you know what I'm saying? Now over here on the West Side, you got nothing but the red rags, you know, nothing but the Bloods, and they're all enticed by the blood culture. So I'll go over there, and it was already, you know, tension and aggression towards Savage Sev. So automatically, from the early ages, I was already fighting them fools. Long story short, down the road, a couple years down the road, my dad actually gets killed. And he gets killed in the east side of Denver on 30th and Arapahoe. They shoot that fool. And the way I felt, they took a big aspect away from me, because before that, my dad got out the penitentiary, and me and him were actually, we were building a relationship, you know what I'm saying? So it made me furious inside. So I started acting out crazy, you know what I'm saying? And the first fools to pull up in the situation and come see if I was good, they took me through the hood, you know, going door to door to see information about my dad's murder, was my older cousins. At this time too, I'm getting in trouble in school because, you know, like I said, I was always fighting over there. I was always having to be in kind of a little war, you know what I'm saying? Because these fools did not like the Savage, bro. Plus, you know, at the early ages, I had a lot of homegirls, you know what I'm saying? So they didn't like that either, you know what I'm saying? This little East Side fool with green eyes coming over there to their schools, taking all their little girlfriends. They was mad about it. So my mom, she actually had enough of me, you know what I'm saying, running the streets and just being in the streets. But it was the only thing I really knew. She sends me to live with my older cousin, you know, my older cousins, and I went to go live over there. And not knowing that my older cousins were already, you know, intertwined with the streets, she thought it was just going to be, you know, a good lesson for me because of some males in my life. But they was embedded in the streets. That's all they knew. So when I went over there was a choice. You know, they try to push me a little towards sports, but, you know, to be 100, them fools is, you know, you gonna ride with the homies. So, you know, off top, I started, you know, riding with the homies. Plus, they're the only ones that really actually taught me how to be a man in a sense. But intertwining with them fools, you start taking on their problems. My cousins had a lot of beef with a lot of fools from Denver. And at an early age, I'm like, why are fools trying to really take out my cousins? Why are fools trying to bring harm to my family? So that made me actually jump in the streets and be like, if it's F my family, it's F you fools. So I got deeper and deeper. After a while, I got good at combat. You know, I was getting a lot of W's. We were smashing on fools. Running up on fools, beating fools down. That turned into me getting shot up right at age 16, 17. I got shot up, and it was because, you know, fools really couldn't see what we were bringing in the streets. And when I get shot up, it didn't get my mind right. It made me more intense in warfare, and I just bring it how they were bringing it, and I started shooting stuff up, you know what I'm saying? And I caught some attempted murder. I caught a couple attempted murder cases at the age of 18. And that was crazy because the simple fact is, bro, when I go to the county, I'm in the process of getting shot up. I got a splint and everything on me. And that doesn't matter when you hit the county. You got enemies, man. You know, you still got to get active, bro. They don't care about that. That's just a reason for them to get at you. But I hit the county with a splint. I was messed up from getting shot up. And my homie rose up, Lil Too Sick. He from the neighborhood and stuff. So he rode up, he see me off top, we sound up. But that week that I roll up, I'm casted up, and the enemigos actually they hit the Sal over there in the Denver County. And I was going back and forth from Jefferson County to Denver County because I had another case. But they hit the county, the mafia style fools, they some blood fools, and there's a couple of them fools. And at first, the homie Too Sick is not there. And they automatically, as soon as they see me, these fools, they knew I was casted up. They run up and they start swinging on me. Boom, boom, boom. They get at me, you know what I'm saying? They jump me. And they take us to the hole, bro. These idiots did it on the camera. So they go to the hole, bro, and they're trying to, you know, file charges on these dudes, and I'm acting like I don't know what goes on. Well, anyways, long story short, they sent us all back to units, different units, split us up. And the homie Tyrone Buckner, Too Sick, he rose up, and this fool comes in, and I'm sadly with some GKI fool, some other hood from Denver. And as soon as the homie rode up, I was like, hey, bro, this fool's gonna move in. And he was like, that's cool. So we move in. Right at when that happens, bro, like 2 days after that, I see some fool pulling in. I'm like, I recognize this dude. And sure enough, it's the Mafia Styles little homie. So as soon as he comes in, I said, I'm fading this fool out. Too Sick said, I'm right behind you. So we end up mixing this fool off, and them fools jumping me when I was in the thing. You know what I'm saying? We mix them in the sow and stuff, bro. And they didn't even find out about that situation, but it was just constant, all kinds of crazy stuff. And I remember the homie Too Sick telling me, when you go to the penitentiary, you got a lot of fades coming. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of heads up coming. And there was fools always telling me that, because, you know, I'm Spanish descent. And you know, they were like, when you get in there, just handle your business. And at the same time, I'm a baby. I'm a youngster. And I'm like, man, how's this gonna go? You know what I'm saying? Because you hear stories. But to get off into another subject, when I was younger, a lot of older relatives, some relatives, uncles and stuff, they try to get my mind right at one time and say, hey, homie, when you get to the penitentiary in the county, you know, what are you gonna do? Because the Mexican homies, the Mexican Crips, and the Spanish Crips ain't deep in there. So, you know, you might, you know, eventually drop your rag. And when they told me that, it put a lot of anger in me, because I'm like, homie, they playing with my crippin', bro. Like, nah, that will never happen. And nobody ain't ever gonna take this crippin' out of Savage. So it made me push all the way 100% when I got to the county. And that came with a lot of fading out, bro, and putting a target on my back when I hit that compound. So I fight my case, bro, and being, you know, young and looking at life sentences, it mentally messes you up, because you're like, you know, I haven't even lived life, and you're still a baby, bro. And you fighting for your life, you know what I'm saying? And it's a scary process, bro, you know what I'm saying? Especially when, I'm gonna be 100%, you really actually a good individual. You ain't really, you know what I'm saying, a person that wants to bring harm to foods, but you are in survival and you are in war. So it turns you into doing what you have to do, bro. But like I said, I wasn't this big old killer, you know what I'm saying? It was just surrounded by the environment, and I'm a type of individual that's going to protect, you know. My case was kind of a self-defense, but I'll break that down in another story. So I hit the compound, I get a 10-year sentence after fighting my case for like 2 years. And I hit that compound, bro, and I was a youngster, 133, 184 on that compound. And it's crazy, man, because the penitentiary is way different than the county. Soon as you hit that penitentiary, there's a lot, especially with politicking from, you know, Crips and Bloods, man. There's a lot of tension between neighborhoods, and especially the neighborhood I'm from, the east side, you know, it brings a lot of static, especially, you know what I'm saying, when you're in the middle of warfare with the other side fools, and you hit that compound, and they realize, you know, another Spanish Crip hit the yard. They don't like that off top. So you already are forced on that compound to, you know, to handle your business. And I remember the first day I actually hit the compound in Crowley, the Sureños had hit me up like, hey, where you from? I let them know. And them fools did not like that. So they lined up fades because of the simple fact over the racial stuff. And you know what? I'm not even going to play. By the grace of God, them fools didn't run in on me 3-on-1. Because at the time, the Sureños had a 3-on-1 rule. And they didn't stick me. Grace of God, homie. But they let me actually fade out one after another. I ended up getting the heads up. And I was a little more stronger because I was working out at this time. I fade out this fool named Casper, this fool named Lucky, and the fool named Grumpy, right one after another. And this is, you know, this is when I first hit the penitentiary. So me doing that, other fools recognized that in the pod, and some OG Eastside fool, he sent down the little Eastside fools to come get me, and he said, and basically heard what went on, and they wanted to talk to me. But they heard that I handled my business accordingly, you know what I'm saying? So what was crazy about that situation is when they come and get me, pretty much they're in the cell and the homie wants to talk to me. He wants to, you know, run my paperwork. And me being a defiant little individual, I'm like, hey, bro, you know, you ain't checking me to run my paperwork. Like I'm defiant. But he could tell I was getting mad. And he's like, we do this to everyone. And yes, homie, out of respect, you have to show your paperwork because we need to see if you're no good or none on the charge. So, you know, I'm like, all right, I'm going to show my paperwork, but I'm being a youngster, and I'm like, nah, because you're making me. So I go show my paperwork. The paperwork comes back good. But when I'm showing my paperwork, they have this one fool in the cell that I'm showing the paperwork in, and they say they're playing with this fool, but he owed a debt on the yard, and they start stomping his head. They start stomping on his head and jumping off the bunk and stomping on his head. And this is my interaction with the penitentiary, like my first day of being in GP on that main compound. I said, man, it's wild in here, you know. And then that first couple days, you know, a fool gets hit with the weights, bro, and they crush his head. And I actually went through the penitentiary, and it was, you know, a long road because I wrote the politics, bro, and every yard is different. You know, the politics, every yard's different, and it's wild, man. But, you know, that's kind of how it started out, man. And, you know, doing 7 years on that yard, because I caught a 10 and did 7 years on it. But, you know, it's made me realize a lot of different things, bro. That life is really not for everybody, bro. And I'm not a convict. And, you know, to the youngsters, bro, you know, before you reach that level where you're doing time, or you accidentally kill somebody, or you have to go do a stretch, you know, think about what you do before you do it, because at the end of the day, man, it doesn't pay off. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, man. Let's go. Thank you for the interaction, the request, the video, bro. Mile high salute to you. Let's go, Riders.